What's up guys? Welcome back to another pregnancy update. I'm a little overdue on giving you updates, not overdue on my due date. I wish I was that close. But anyway, overdue on an update for you guys. And I wrote some stuff down. I think my last update was at 32 weeks. And so this is pregnancy weeks 33 through just about 37. I'm like 36 and a half weeks right now. And so yeah, there was a lot going on in my last update, so sorry to keep you hanging, but I'm really excited to update you on everything that's gone on since then. A lot of good stuff, a little bit of bad stuff, not even bad, but just like a little bit of difficulties. And so yeah, let's get into it. So there's been kind of two phases I've gone through in this part of pregnancy. Like 33 and 34 weeks, I was really not feeling well. I was having a lot of trouble breathing and a lot of heartburn and exhaustion and nausea and just general unwell feelings. And then when I hit about 35 weeks, I started to feel a lot better. And I don't know if that's because it's kind of like the last month or so of pregnancy that energy comes back because of that like nesting instinct and you just know you're in the home stretch. So I don't know exactly what shifted then, but I have been feeling better the last couple weeks than I was like at 33 and 34, so that's been nice. I've been breathing a little easier because the baby did drop, and I asked my midwife at my last appointment, I'm like, is 34, 35 weeks too early for the baby to drop? And she's like, no, it can totally happen that early. And I've had a couple ultrasounds because of my age. They do a lot of ultrasounds towards the end, and they're like, she is very, very low. Like she's really, really low in there. Like they're having trouble getting measurements of her head because she's so low, which I'm hoping is a good thing. She's like head down fully in there, like ready to go when my body decides it's ready. So yeah, it's been a little better with the breathing and like the heartburn and stuff because she is so low, but she's been pushing on my bladder really, really bad. So around that same time, I started having to go pee like honestly, like every 1 to 2 hours. It's just like, I feel like I'm constantly going pee, and I'm also drinking a lot of water because staying hydrated in pregnancy is like the magic potion for all your ailments. Like if you don't feel well, drink water. If you're having Braxton Hicks, drink water. If you're feeling nauseous, eat food, but drink water. Like no matter what, the more water you drink, the better you feel, I have found. So I'm still drinking a lot of water, and I'm being really diligent about that, especially because it's gotten very hot here and it's like in the 70s, 80s plus. We've had some even like 95-degree days lately, and so I'm really trying to stay hydrated, and so I feel well. So speaking of needing to pee a lot, a few days ago I woke up and I was like, I think I have a UTI. Like if you've had a UTI before, you know that feeling, that like kind of urgency, burning kind of feeling in your like urethra, like where you pee from. And so right away I called and got into the lab to get tested because you want to stay on top of that stuff, especially when you're pregnant. And now it's the weekend, and I've got some of the results back during the week that said there were some things that were off, but then the urine culture that takes like, I guess, a couple days because they have to like grow it or something, came back negative for UTI. So I don't have a UTI, but some of my levels and stuff are off. So it's making me a little bit nervous because at 34 weeks with my daughter, my first daughter, I had a kidney stone. And I've had kidney stones 3 times in my life. I am 35 now, and they started around age 30. So every like other year, I've had a kidney stone, and I haven't had one in a little while. And I guess during pregnancy, you're more likely to get them because of dehydration, which is another reason that I drink water more. Or I don't know if it's exactly because of dehydration, but there's a higher likelihood of getting like kidney stones during pregnancy for some reason. So I am wondering if this is like the beginning of a kidney stone or something related to a kidney stone, because it just, when I had a kidney stone, it kind of felt like a UTI towards the end of it, which is confusing. It didn't feel like a UTI at the beginning. It felt like a UTI at the end. It started out as like really bad pain at my lower back on one side. I'll show you guys. It was like bad pain back here, and then it came around to the front, and you got like a little peek at the bump just there. But came around to the front and then felt like a UTI towards the end. So I don't know if that's what this is, if it's related to that. I'm really hoping not, because I am weeks away. if not days away from having this baby, and I'd really like to not have a kidney stone while I'm in labor. Like, that would just be, I guess the epidural would help with all that, which I do plan to get, but yeah, it's just a complication that is frustrating because you don't want to have complications at any point in pregnancy, let alone towards the end when it's just like, you know, everything's about to happen. So I need to call my midwife on Monday and ask her, like, what does it mean to have, like, one of the things that came back positive is I have blood in my urine. And so what does it mean to have, like, blood in your urine, but, like, not UTI? So it may be something related to my kidneys. I don't know. Oh, and maybe because she's just so low and putting so much pressure on that area that it's causing irritation, and that's why there's blood, and there can just be like blood because the baby's pressing so hard in that area. I don't know. Obviously, like, I'm not a doctor, so I need to talk to her about it. But yeah, I've had a little bit of anxiety about this the past few days, just not knowing what's going on exactly with that situation, and it's just a little uncomfortable because I do feel that like urgency to pee on top of just the regular like feeling of needing to pee frequency at this point in pregnancy. So yeah, we'll find out what it is, whatever it is. I'm just gonna like kind of try to accept whatever happens and just know and trust that I'm gonna be fine, baby's gonna be fine. It's all gonna work out. Because as with everything with pregnancy, like, there's so much out of your control that you just have to kind of roll with it. And especially towards the end when you just don't know when the baby's coming, you just have to really keep an open mind as to when it's all gonna happen and just wait patiently. And so that is where we're at. So what else? I have like gone through phases with eating too, like phases where I feel really nauseous and don't really have an appetite and have to just force myself to eat. And then some days I'm just like ravenous. So yeah, that's what's been going on with that. I have had a lot of Braxton Hicks and a couple like real contractions, but they're like, you know, I'll just have like one or two and then they'll stop. So I feel like my body is going closer to, you know, moving in the right direction where it's supposed to go. But again, like, things can progress quickly or slowly, like they can pick up overnight. You just never know. Last time I talked to you guys, there was kind of two things that had gone on with my appointment with the nurse practitioner when my midwife wasn't available. One, she was like, oh yeah, you're gonna get induced at 39 weeks because you're 35 years old. And I hadn't discussed that with my midwife at all. And it was just kind of like thrown at me, like, this is what's gonna happen, not like this is an option, which I wanted to get more information about. And then the other thing is she told me, she's like, oh, you've gained 25 pounds already, like you shouldn't gain any more weight in pregnancy. And this was at 30 weeks, I think. And I was just like, what? Like, I basically have my whole last trimester ahead of me, and that sometimes is when you gain the most weight, and I'm not supposed to gain any weight. Like, that just didn't make sense to me. So I talked to my midwife about both those things, and I got answers that I felt really comfortable with because my midwife is awesome. She's very thorough and she's very matter of fact, but she's also just very calm about things. So with the weight gain, we'll start with that. She said the recommendation is 25 to 30 pounds of weight gain during pregnancy, but that doesn't take into account your pre-pregnancy weight. So in her opinion, if you're on the more petite side, then maybe gaining like 25 to 35 pounds is more where you should be at. And if you're overweight at the beginning of the pregnancy, then you maybe want to gain a little less than 25 pounds. So it's kind of more individualized than just like that standard range in her opinion. And she was like, yeah, you know, during my pregnancy, I gained 40 pounds and it was fine. My baby's fine. Like, that's, you know, just don't worry about it too much. You're gaining healthy weight. I'm not concerned about your weight gain. So that was really relieving to hear. I have gained, let's see, I think I'm at just about 30 pounds now. So between that point, 30 weeks, and now almost 37 weeks, I've gained another 5 pounds. So I'm at, yeah, like I said, just about like 30 pounds, 29 pounds of weight gain so far. And I've got a few weeks left. And sometimes in the last couple weeks of pregnancy, you don't gain a ton of weight because the baby's kind of like maxed out. And so, yeah, I feel like no matter what, I'm gonna end up in a good healthy range and I'm not worrying about it. I'm eating when I'm hungry. I'm trying to eat really healthy. I'm eating, you know, not a ton of sweets and stuff because I'm just concerned about my past history of having gestational diabetes and also failing my first glucose test. Even though I passed the 3-hour test, I failed the 1 hour. And so I'm just worried that there's like some sort of sensitivity there. And mostly I just don't want the baby to get too big that she can't fit out and I ended up having a C-section, which if you have a C-section, sometimes it's just out of your control, but I'm doing what I can to eat healthy. So I am eating a lot of fruit, which is sugar, but it's like natural sugar versus like eating chocolate and candy and stuff. So yeah, I'm trying not to focus too much on like the actual number for pounds and just focus on eating healthy and feeling well, and whatever my weight ends up at, that's what it does. As for the induction, I did talk to my midwife about this, and she said that yes, the recommendation is for women 35 and older to be induced at 39 weeks because there's a concern that in older women, older in like the pregnancy world, that the placenta deteriorates earlier. And so going over 40 weeks, she definitely wouldn't recommend. She said if you haven't gone into labor on your own at 40 weeks, I would definitely say we should induce you at that point. But between 39 and 40 weeks, I kind of leave it up to you, especially if you're on the younger side of that older pregnancy like category. So for me, I'll only have been 35 for a couple months at the time that I give birth versus somebody who's 40. She said somebody who's 40, it would be a little bit of a different conversation, but because I just turned 35, she's more comfortable leaving it up to me, which felt good. But she did say that she thinks it would probably be a good idea to at least keep that option open and consider it. So that's what we're doing. I do have an induction scheduled for 39 weeks and 1 day, and we're just gonna kind of see. Oh, I'm running out of breath. I can breathe better because she's lower, but like just talking this much, you run out of breath so easily. Anyway, so what I was saying is I do have an induction scheduled for 39 weeks and 1 day just because of the timing of when she's gonna be there. And then we're just gonna see what my body does over the next few weeks, few weeks, like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so until then, and decide as it gets closer. And of course, it's always possible that I go into labor on my own before then, which would be ideal because, you know, I'd like my body to be ready on its own. But at the same time, I feel like at that point, 39 weeks in 1 day, I'm gonna just really wanna go for it. Because right after that is 4th of July weekend, and she said the hospital gets a little hectic, and then after 4th of July, I'm already almost at 40 weeks, and I just, over 4th of July weekend, I don't wanna just be like worried and nervous, and I just know myself, I get like really overthinking things and thinking worst case scenario as much as I try not to. And so I think for like my mental health too, I feel like an induction, like going with the induction when I'm at the early part of 39 weeks is just gonna be what feels right to me. So we'll see what happens. I went into labor on my own at 39 weeks and 3 days, I believe, either 2 days or 3 days. So I was like almost a week early with my first daughter, but just because that happened with the first doesn't mean it's gonna happen with the second. Like your body does different things every pregnancy. So we'll just have to wait and see. She did check me when I was in last time for 36 weeks, which is really almost a full month before you're supposed to give birth. So I told her, she was like, I can check you, I cannot check you, because I had to get the Group B strep test anyway, where they like swab you down there anyway. So it's already like with the cape and stuff, she was like, I can check you while I do the swab or not. It's totally up to you. And I told her, I was like, you know what, just check me. I won't freak out if I'm not dilated at all because I'm only 36 weeks, and so I know there's like another 4 weeks technically till my due date, and things can change very quickly. So I did have her check me, and she said I'm about like 0.5 centimeter to 1 centimeter dilated. So that's something for sure, like it's not 0. And then the baby's super low. So with pregnancy towards the end, like you cannot be dilated at all. And then all of a sudden, like over the course of 24 hours, be like 3 centimeters dilated, or you can slowly dilate over time. Like everybody's body's different and they don't have a way to predict or like a rhyme or reason to it. So again, I'm not like worrying about how dilated I am, but if I am more dilated as we approach the induction date, I think I'll feel a lot more comfortable about it because my body's showing signs on its own that it's like very close to being ready to deliver versus not ready at all. So that is the update. From here on out, I have weekly appointments, which is always exciting to get to that point. From 36 weeks on, at least here in the US, you have appointments once a week. Also, because I am over 35, every single appointment from here on out I have an ultrasound, and I have a non-stress test, which is when you sit with monitors on your belly and you hit a little button every time the baby moves. And when the baby moves, the heart rate is supposed to increase. And so they're just making sure that the baby's thriving and everything. So I have my first non-stress test in a few days when I go in for my next appointment. And I'll have just 3 appointments left because 37, 38, and 39 weeks. And I don't even know if they're gonna have me go to my 39-week appointment because it's like 2 days before the induction scheduled. So I booked it just in case, and yeah, we'll see what happens at that point. We are pretty much ready. I don't have like every little detail ready, but like we need to sanitize the bottles and the pump parts, but I don't plan to pump like day 1 when I get home. So I'm not really feeling like rushed on that stuff, but we have all the clothes set up. The bassinet is, we set it up and then we just to check that it works because it's the same one we used for my daughter. And then I washed everything and then broke it down, and I'm storing it in our room because it does take up a lot of space and our room is kind of small. And what else? We have the car seat installed. My hospital bag's packed. My husband's hospital bag is packed. Yeah, there's just, I feel pretty prepared. Like if I went today, I would feel fine about it. I am really excited about my going home outfit for the hospital, which is kind of silly, but like deciding what to wear home from the hospital is tricky because if you have a vaginal birth, then you want something loose like down there. But if you have a C-section, you want something loose on your abdomen, but you just don't know what the state of your body's gonna be when you're leaving the hospital. So I had bought this little outfit that's not a maternity outfit, and I'll put a picture of it in here. And I wore it yesterday actually when we went to a farm to go strawberry picking with my husband and my daughter, and it fit because it's kind of looser. And I had bought it just because I thought it was one, cute, and I thought it would be very comfortable postpartum and when it's hot, and just, you know, it's just like a loose fitting outfit. And because it did fit yesterday when I'm fully pregnant, I know it'll fit when I'm postpartum, and it's just loose all around down there regardless of like stomach or anything like that. So that is the outfit I'm gonna be packing to come home from the hospital. And other than that, I'm pretty much packing all the same stuff I did last time. So I'll put my hospital bag video in the video description if you guys wanna watch that. It's like 99% the same stuff. I used almost everything I brought last time. So that is it. I'm just trying to like stay calm and trust that the timing of everything is gonna work out. Getting to the hospital in time whenever it happens. And my daughter is gonna totally be fine staying with my mother-in-law, and just she's gonna be okay with this transition. And just trusting that my body's gonna do what it's supposed to, and baby is going to arrive healthy and safely. So I don't know if I'll do another update. I might, depending on what goes on the next couple weeks, I might do like another update next week or something, or not. But when the baby is born, I will be posting here on YouTube, not a video, but like on my community tab, like it'll show up in your feed if you're subscribed, that the baby has arrived and her name and everything, so you guys know when that's happened. And then also on my Instagram, I will be posting over there maybe like other more updates in between. So I'll put my Instagram down here if you guys are not already following me and you want to know like when baby's coming, and if there's time to like post about it when I go into labor and stuff, if I do, or if the induction just goes on the date, like I'll post about all that on there as much as I can. So yeah, so home stretch, I'm very excited, and yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer in this video, then feel free to put them down in the comments below. I love talking to you guys about just everything, life, pregnancy, money, everything we talk about on my channel. So always feel free to comment below. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.